whole thing went wrong. So just to explain that again, window sharing is a very useful way of making sure that I only share a certain window. So let's say I'm going to select this tutor one. So the red block that you see around, I don't know if you see it, you can see it clearly there. The red block is an indication of what is being shared. So what I can do now is I can switch back to another window and the learners on the other side won't see it. Now in this instance, what's going to happen is you are going to see what I'm doing because I'm doing a desktop share to illustrate this. But just to show you how you can do this, if you hold down the Alt key and you press Tab, you'll see there's a dialog that opens up there. And if I hold the Alt key and I press Tab, you'll see the white block moves to the different options. So the minute that I actually release the Alt key, it's going to select that one. So let's just go to this one that I've got over here. I'm going to release it. What's going to happen now is the learners will not actually see this. There's no red block around this because this is not the window that I'm presenting. The window that I'm presenting is this one. And once I've selected that one again, the red block appears around it. So this is a very good way of switching between my presentation and seeing what people are actually saying without confusing the learners. What works very well is if you've got multiple things set up. So if you're going to switch between things rapidly, so let's say you've got a document, a PDF document, and you've got a PowerPoint, and every 2 minutes you're going to switch between the two. Then your only sensible option is desktop sharing. But if you're going to, if you're going to use a PowerPoint for the first 10, 15 minutes, and then you're going to use a PDF for the next 10, 15 minutes, then my suggestion is to rather do the screen sharing thing multiple times. So I'm just going to open up a PowerPoint quickly to give you to show you another important little trick that we can use in PowerPoint specifically. So if we're opening up a PowerPoint, it is Friday afternoon, so my computer is also not very keen on moving quickly. So this whole thing that I'm doing now, you can see it, but in my other session that I've got hosted, they still only see this. That's where the red block is around. So the red block tells me what they see. They don't see anything else that's going on behind the scenes of my computer. So if you, for example, just to give you a sense of what we're referring to here, if you're going to be presenting a PDF and you're giving them 10 minutes to do work, to try and answer questions, while you are getting set up behind the scenes with your next PowerPoint, here I've got my PowerPoint open, and I'm actually going to go into presentation slideshow mode. So now my whole screen is showing the presentation, but I want to go back to my Teams so that I can quickly switch and go into this. Now I want to, let me not show you a different way. So we're going to go back to Alt-Tab. And now you see I've got lots of things open here. So it becomes confusing the more things you've got open. But you don't have to have as many things as this open. So I suggest before you present, close everything that you're not going to use. Only leave that which you want to use in your presentation open. So I'm going to open this. I'm going to go Tab, 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 until I get back to the session that I have, tutoring lesson, release the Tab key, and it's going to bring me into this screen. Now we want to switch the presentation. We're going to say stop sharing options. So now, just to show you quickly, if I go back here, there's no more red block around the presentation. We're going to go back into the tutoring lesson. And if I click on the share content, now you'll see with a PowerPoint, I've actually got two windows that are open here. The one window is the PowerPoint that's already in presentation mode. The window next to that is the actual PowerPoint, the program itself. Now, I don't want to present that. I want to present the presentation. So they don't even see me opening up that. I'm just going to click on PowerPoint, and it'll take me straight in here. Remember, the red block shows me what is being presented. So within this, I can now go to my pointer options and I can activate my laser pointer. There we go. So if you haven't done that before, it's as simple as right-clicking, pointer options, and then you see laser pointer. You've even got a pen and a highlighter if you want to use them. And now I can start with my presentation, and we'll go into the next one. So you'll see I'm using the exact same one. It doesn't have any animation on it, but I've got my laser pointer, which allows me to focus your attention a lot better. Remember, if you're going to use the other mode of presenting, the mouse cursor isn't going to even display. If there's something that happens in the chat and I need to quickly navigate back there, I can just go back into the chat again. And here I'm in my chat and I'm talking to them, but they don't see me moving like this. They still only see this presentation. That is all that they see in front of them. And that helps a lot in terms of keeping our learners' attention focused on what we want them to be focused on. Right. And remember, when we're talking about using our the visualizer is a good example of that. The visualizer, the document camera, all of those things. If you're going to share the window of the visualizer as opposed to sharing your desktop, it's going to have a much better kind of presentation mode. What you can also, I think we're going to leave it there. If you're using a visualizer and you're struggling with the things, I might do just a one-on-one session with you that we can try out slightly different tricks regarding navigating that. Right. Are there any questions in terms of this kind of presentation mode that I'm talking about? I think I just need to wrap it up again to just take you through the process of what we're referring to again. Let me just stop the sharing. So at the bottom of my screen, you can see there's a lot of applications that I've got open, right? It's quite small, and so you can't see all the details, but I've essentially got everything set up and ready to go when I want to present. And a lot of us do this exact same thing that I'm referring to now, but then we share the desktop and then we click on the apps to do that. So the only thing that you need to do slightly differently is we're going to go share content, and then we want to first share this one. This is the first part of my lesson. Red block is drawn around it, and it's going to display everything that I want displayed there, and I can talk about it, blah, 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 leave it open. Now I realize, okay, I'm done with that. So we're going to say stop sharing, click on sharing again quickly, and open up this one. And it's quite quick, the transition that's going to happen. And there we go. Now we're into the next one. And remember, if you need to get back into the Teams meeting, the keyboard becomes very important because we're going to use the Alt-Tab function. If you hold the Alt key, it's going to open up all of these different tabs, the windows that you've got open. The Tab key switches between these windows so that you can get to the window that you want to actually use.